Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today I'm making my return back to Project Jojo 2. If I've already been making videos by the time this comes out, then obviously nothing I'm really going to explain to you guys actually matters besides the showcase itself, which we are doing today. So, showcase. This stand did obviously take a few different they pretty much took the stand and then gave it a completely different take whenever it comes down to the way that the focus works and stuff like that. So first things first, we're obviously going to talk about the stand from the encyclopedia. Then we're going to look into the stand itself and kind of showcase the way it's played now compared to the way it used to be played before. Because it was a little weird because they used the original style that they had for Manhattan Transfer, but it didn't work too good with Emperor because obviously Emperor is a lot more fast paced, and we'll talk about that as we go through this. So it also did get a change to the actual UI here because, well, obviously the names of the skills, how the skills works, and stuff like that, and we'll talk about that right now. The Emperor is a tier 2 stand. Does have quick fire, pretty much quick shot, fires a bullet. M1s, you could actually use this in any direction. The only difference is whether you're locked on or not. I think people get Emperor combat wrong quite a bit because of that, but we'll talk about that as we kind of get into it. We have Hammer Fan, lets you pummels enemies from afar. We have Charge Shot, which is a hold and release, and the more you charge it up, the more damage it will do. We have the ultimate skill, which is the nose grab. Pretty much you can grab the opponent's nose, and it's a grab attack that also hard stuns. So that's very, very cool. Next, we have roll. Take an evasive roll, and this actually gives you you take less damage from incoming attacks while you're rolling. I don't know what the percentage is, but if it's anything like Star Platinum's percentage, it's probably not that strong. But there's a whole different, obviously resets the cooldown of Hammer Fan. We'll showcase that part in a second. Curve Shot. Fire a powerful bullet that can be controlled mid-flight. Focus enhances your reflexes, increases damage of all Emperor projectiles, and instantly resetting the fan of the hammer cooldown as well. So they did change the way the focus works. Now it's a lot more fun to use. Um, it's actually a Overwatch reference too, which is hilarious. Let's see. Fire a series of bullets that bounce off of solid surfaces. We got ricochet. That each bullet does more damage the more that they bounce. And if you don't know fusion info, if you fuse this with another stand, you gain the ability of Hammer Fan and Marksman, increase damage dealt from all projectile attacks, which is nice. I think the last argument I really had with everybody was pretty much, or like a lot of people, not with everybody, honestly. This is like a small, minute group of people that believe Hammer Fan in the hands of every other stand is godly compared to just having it on Emperor. But I'm going to show you why that's so different now and why they changed it from the original focus to the new focus. So, first things first, we have the M1s. As you can see, they are very fast now. You can't hold them down, sadly, but you can, kind of aim them at any direction that you choose. If you just click in that direction, I click the post, it's going to hit that. I click the stop sign, it's going to hit that. So if you are someone who likes to play like a little bit like aggressive, this is definitely like kind of fun to kind of poke from a distance. So you just keep poking, running. Very fun. But next we have Hammer Fan, which is a nice little barrage of bullets that do a little more damage than the original. So as you can see, Hammer Fan does do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. So we're just gonna do this real quick. And with Hammer Fan, you can do this from any direction too. So for instance, if we kind of like go from like let's say on top of the roof, and then I Hammer Fan down there, it's going to hit its target. The only downside is the damage threshold will be different depending on the distance. You'll see that I did less damage with Hammer Fan just because of the way it was, the distance. Hammer Fan does lose damage on distance, sadly. All right. So, next we have the control bullet, which is the heavy bullet, which can be controlled. As you can see, it actually depends on whether or not you're actually uh, if you're using it in the lock-on mode versus the actual free mouse mode. So for instance, if I'm using lock-on, I can't control the bullet, and it's a heavy attack. So it makes it very strong. It does a lot of damage, and it's actually very, very quick. Look at how much damage that does. And the closer you are, the more damage it's going to do. Sadly, the damage distance really just matters depending on the distance, you know. But you can use this in the remote control fashion too. So as you can see, shoot that direction. Hit that guy right there, as you can see. Look at that corroded dummy. Hit the target. And this is like really good if someone's running away from you too, because it does have a little bit of a stun to it. And it's so quick and easy to use that you could just keep spamming it. For instance, if we kind of just do this real quick, and then we kind of aim in our direction, you can still shoot multiple bullets from a distance and still kind of like keep it going, as you can see. And I'll just keep on my target, and it's going to hit them either way because I'm just aiming my mouse to them. Now I just change target. That's so cool to me, honestly. It reminds me of the remote control Batarang from, if you guys have never played the Arkham games. All right, now we have focus. Now focus did change quite a bit, and I'm going to explain the change to focus using Hammer Fan. So for instance, if we use Hammer Fan now, damage 4,000. Focus, damage 5,500. As you can see, the damage does go up on bullets. We'll do the heavy right here. As you can see, it does a lot more damage than it did before. And you could just kind of play the distance game with this. And really just play around with it. Especially if you use remote control bullet and you're really good at it. It's just very fun to mess around with people. For instance, I just dodged that pole right there. And then boom, target down. It only works for a little bit of time, but it is a nice little boost. You mostly use it in combos, though, and I'll explain those in a second. So next we have Ricochet, which is the Y. As you can see, Ricochet does work if you know how to use Ricochet accordingly. You can use Ricochet in different directions, too. For instance, we could shoot up at the top of the wall, and it will shoot in the direction where it will bounce off. Personally speaking, I'm terrible with Ricochet. If you have like an idea of geometry, you'd be able to like use this very correctly. Oh, I hit the wrong person. All right. But as you can see, if you kind of know what you're doing, you could probably hit like really decent shots. Oh, geez. I'm just aiming right in the direction of that, where that dude's just farming. All right. So let's try this one. There you go. And you see it does more damage from there. So if we do it here again, there's a UI bug where it's not showing me the actual cooldown, but it's okay. All right, so let's do it. Oh, as you can see, it did do 3,000 damage, but 5,000 if you bounce it. But honestly, Ricochet is just really hard to use. I wish that it was just a much more like interesting move. No offense. It just feels like Hammer Fan, but Hammer Fan if you miss a lot. Like it's just a bonus Hammer Fan. Next, we have Charge Shot. Charge Shot's a very unique skill where you could actually walk around from a distance and hit that really hard stun charged bullet. It only shoots one person, so don't expect it in multiple people at once. Now, Charge Shot in itself is a very strong skill. You just have to use it correctly. As you can see, you can mess it up. I just tried to quick shot with the Charge Shot, just did not work for me. You have to at least hold it for even a second. Even a second, it'll get a little damage. As you can see, 5,000 damage. But with the 46,000 or so, it does do quite a bit of damage if you can hit that entire shot. It's a real back away cooldown reduction skill. So this is like the way you would use it. I would explain it in just a moment. But honestly, I just want to keep going with the moves. So we have nose grab, where you grab the person's nose and then the truck comes and hits them. It's a hard stun. It's amazing. That's pretty much it with that. It's a grab though, so very much annoying for a lot of people. We have the H roll, which does do the cooldown reduction of the Hammer Fan. So I'll show you guys right now. Hammer Fan, and then H roll, and then Hammer Fan, and then then you just keep doing your combos. But as you can see, it does reset the cooldowns, which is very, very cool. So now we're going to kind of talk about how the combos should work, because I see a lot of people struggling with the Emperor in general. and it's really not that hard, not that complicated at all. You could do a lot of damage in a short period of time if you just use the Emperor correctly, because I think people are used to the old Emperor that just doesn't do as much damage as the new one. So with this one, we'll just go ahead and show you the basic combos, which is Hammer Fan, and then the T, oh lag, Hammer Fan, and then the H, and then Hammer Fan again. I messed that up a little bit just because the lag kind of threw me off a little bit. But you could also throw the R in there at any point because the low cooldown of the R, it just does so much damage. But all right, so let's do this again. You could also do like Hammer Fan, Y, still hit that T, do Hammer Fan again, H, Hammer Fan again. Hammer Fan H is probably going to be your best friend. And then if they're going to run away from you, obviously just keep using the homing shot. Especially if they're running away, it does so much damage. You can also do a much closer version of the combo. For instance, there's 3 moves in this entire kit that can pretty much keep people away from you. And that's actually just has to do with Hammer Fan, the G skill ultimate, and the F backup. So, for instance, you could pretty much have infinite cooldowns depending on whether or not you're going to be using this against a player or even against something like the dummies. For instance, if you guys don't know the dummies, I did a video on the dummies. The dummies, before rifts come out, obviously these dummies, the super rare ones, are going to be able to give you lots and lots of rewards while you're still waiting for that rift update to come out. But if the Rift update is out, then just don't pay attention to that. Just go watch my Rift video guide because you know that's going to come out the second I get the chance when I get to play the Rifts for the first time. Sadly, we're not going to be getting the Rift update soon. We're getting Death 13 first, so we are getting a stand before the Rift update. Okay, there's a dummy. And that's, I can't wait to try Death 13 too. So for instance, if we're right here, you can see I'll do a full combo right here. So Hammer Fan into T, into Hammer Fan, into H, into Hammer Fan, into G, into Y, into R. And as you can see, I can just keep going. Even with the Hammer Fan and H, if someone's coming after you, that's when you want to use that that nice little bit, which is your F skill. So if someone's trying to get close to you, that's when you kind of like play cooldowns, and they can't get close to you at all. They can't break that or nothing. So if they get close to you, just release. If they get close to you again, use the grab. There you go. Ooh, I will take this. Cool. And what do you call it? So, it just depends on the way that you play Emperor. Honestly, you could play Emperor PvP or PvE wise. It's a very, very, very strong competitive stand. I think people really give it a tough time. The only thing I don't like about it is just some minor things, like obviously it doesn't have a skill that allows us to use homing bullets, which is my least favorite part of Emperor. I honestly want homing bullets added to this kit, but I guess we're going to have to wait till there's another kit or another stand that does homing bullets in some way, shape, or form. They do want to not do a lot of stuff like, for instance, cannon time stop and stuff like that, just because of balancing. But, that's just the developer's choice in that regard. I do have lots to talk about in the future, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. And I'll see you guys in a future video. Take it easy and peace out.